Seamus Bruner is one of the foremost researchers and authors in this nation, behind books like Clinton Cash and Profiles in Corruption. His latest book, Controligarchs, is what I want to discuss with him today. In the book, he writes at length about a particular type of industry titan, one who is concerned not just with money, but with control. The former breeds more of the latter. This is not the most common form of the vice of greed, but it is one that is actually more dangerous than simple money grabbers, whose type has been around in all regimes throughout human history. Controligarchs are far more insidious. And I wanted to talk, Seamus, about the appearance of 2 of the 5 people who adorn the cover of your book at, number 1, the inauguration on January 20th. We've not had a chance to speak since then, so I wanted to get your take on that. I don't think anybody's asked you about that since. And what advice you would give to the administration with these controligarchs trying to ingratiate themselves and not even, to my knowledge, say mea culpa about their previous sins, but just hope that the administration forgets about them and takes their donations and money.
Yeah, hey, Garrett, it's great to see you. I was at the inauguration. All of a sudden, I was actually at the building you sit in now, and all of a sudden they decided to move it all indoors. We had prime viewing for the inauguration out there on the National Mall, and they moved it indoors, and I was stunned like most others, or I mean, I guess not too stunned, but to see Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon made sense. Elon put up the 200 million plus in cash to get Trump over the finish line, so that makes sense. But to see Zuckerberg, Eric Schmidt, a lot of these tech bros out in Silicon Valley who have been leftists their entire lives, progressive leftists, and I mean especially Mark Zuckerberg, who poured hundreds of millions of dollars into 2020 to make sure that blue areas had easier ways to get their ballots chased and into the counting machines. You know, he pushed Joe Biden over the finish line as much as anybody did. And Jeff Bezos, I mean, he's a little bit, he plays it a little closer to the vest. I mean, he is left leaning. You know, he's more libertarian, like all these tech guys are trying to rebrand themselves as we're libertarian, if not conservative. It's totally laughable. And so it's obvious why they're doing it. It's,
yes.
Mark Zuckerberg has a massive antitrust case in front of the FTC and DOJ. And it just became clear in the last 2 weeks why he is you know, putting $1 million into the inauguration, calling up Trump and trying to, you know, puff him up. It's because he doesn't want to pay $5 billion or more in antitrust fees. He wants to pay, just made the offer, $450 million. So it's a tiny fraction of what he owes. Honestly, the Meta empire might need to be brought up, you know, broken up. That's up for antitrust people to decide. And then Jeff Bezos, I mean, you can see why he's cozying up. There's been a little spat recently over the tariffs. You know, I kind of wish that Jeff Bezos, all of these tariffs on China and other places obviously hurt his business. The price of goods goes up marginally. I mean, not enough that consumers should want just total unfettered free trade with our number one adversary.
He's functionally operating as the same interest as the Chinese state, in that he's a Chinese merchant goods importer. And
exactly.
I just want to do everything I can personally to sound the alarm and say, don't let the fox guard the hen house, and don't let these people, just because they have funds. We don't even need the funds. See, that's what's fascinating about this ingratiation, and why your book should be reread now. You know, our book on the Biden laptop, as you know, came out in 22, but there are people in the book, just like your book, that are doing things right now. It's not a past tense exercise. It's completely relevant and timely. And I just don't want a day to go by for us to forget that these people weren't just neutral. Seamus, it would be one thing if these people were neutral during the first Trump term and Joe Biden's term. They weren't that. They were actively aiding and abetting the destruction. And we can't even get a Made in America toggle on Amazon.com, hilariously. You'd think that for all of the ingratiation that the administration is providing folks like Bezos, that we would at least get a Made in America toggle on Amazon.com. But apparently that is too much for him. That's a technical feat too far for Bezos. Obviously, I'm being a little bit facetious, but don't you think it's ridiculous that we're now being asked to forget about these folks, and they got the seat in the rotunda when other people who, you know, stood with Trump in 2022 when times were dark and bleak, they were put in the overflow room.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you brought up this idea of a Made in America toggle. I've been looking. They have on Amazon something sort of like it, but it's a total scam because it's these people who buy from Temu or the other Chinese mass-produced good manufacturers, and then they just
That's a meme.
put it in a box.
Temu is like now a meme. Like you have the Temu version.
Yeah, and so like they don't have a Made in America button. I was actually in favor of Jeff Bezos adding the cost of the tariff. I don't know actually how it would play out with your everyday Americans when they see the tariff. Would they get mad at Trump? They should be seeing the tariff amounts and saying, oh, I should be supporting my fellow countrymen and buying Made in America goods. So I supported Bezos's retaliation to Trump was he was going to put the cost of your price increase right next to the goods you were buying. But that is a de facto Made in China button. It shows you how much of the goods you're buying are made in China. So he should have done that. We'll see how it plays out. I know that Trump called him. He told Bezos to take off the amount of the tariffs next to each good. I'm fully supportive of tariffs, and if Jeff Bezos has to take a hit, I think his bottom line can handle it.
Yeah, maybe one less trip to Mars, and the rest of us could maybe go. To end this, I just want to ask you, as far as concrete advice to extricate the administration from these people, what would you mentioned the antitrust case with Meta. What are some other concrete steps that you would advise the administration to take to make sure these folks, and by these folks, I mean the folks on the cover of your book, and you talked about Klaus with Chanel a couple weeks ago or last week, but what are some other concrete steps the administration can take to get these tentacles that they have off of our government?
Yeah, so for Zuckerberg, it's the FTC and antitrust on this antitrust case. Hold strong. Don't take a lowball offer from Zuck. Then for Zuck also, you've got the H-1B, and this touches over to Bezos as well. H-1B, we should not be replacing American workers with H-1B workers, and that's what the tech bros all want. That's what, by and large, all of them, why they're ingratiating themselves. Not all of them have antitrust. Not all of them have tariff concerns, but all of them want massively to import H-1B workers from effectively the third world, whether it's India, Pakistan, China, Southeast Asia. They want cheap workers, and every job that those workers take, Americans don't get. So that's the thing on H-1B. For
Beautifully
Bezos,
said.
For Bezos, the FCC, the Trump FCC, can really make Bezos' life a little harder. This is a huge leverage point. Bezos just announced that he wants to launch a competitor to Starlink. It's this Kuiper, mini satellite initiative to do the same thing that Elon Musk is basically doing. The FCC has huge jurisdiction over whether or not Bezos can launch thousands and thousands of satellites into low Earth orbit. That's one. And then number two, and I would say, the same thing with the H-1B, stick strong on the tariffs. That definitely hurts Jeff Bezos' primary business, business line, which is cheap crap from China.
Very well said. Thank you for your time, Seamus. Fantastic.